Yippee-ki-yay, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Fbg Games presents the new gaming podcast. We're here with one of our top devs, Brian, Dr. Brian Kennedy.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Today's episode, we got a nice set of news that bring us right into our discussion. A lot of console talk in the news. PlayStation, Microsoft, Nintendo, everybody's in the news right now. Brian, what the hell's going on here? One day they announced PlayStation 5 Pro, then all of a sudden it's just like a cascade of console news coming out the woodwork.
I think it's competition, man. I don't think anybody wants to let anybody get the jump on them in sales. Christmas season is coming. They're trying to get that dollar. They know that there's so many gamers out there who want to buy, who got money to spend. They want you to spend money on their system, no matter what company it is. Microsoft 2 terabyte system, PlayStation Pro 30th edition. Any minute now, we're going to get a Switch 2 launch. And then we're going to get a Switch 2 launch information. And then there's information that's already coming out about the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox 2X or X2. So
that's a lot of console. Well, let's start with the PlayStation 5 Pro. What was your initial reaction? Were you able to see what the gaming community's reaction was as well?
Well, first off, my initial reaction is I think Sony dropped the ball on the launch of this thing. One of the reasons is it's not the price like everybody thinks. I think it is the fact that you cannot show what the PlayStation Pro can do through a video stream. I thought that was a bad way of showing it. 6-second clips on certain games, really not being able for people to grasp the difference between 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, detail and quality, and really focusing in on explaining how fidelity mode was now the performance mode combined into one, and trying to see that through video, it just didn't make sense. And then looking at the community, personally, I think people are nuts. So you're complaining about a $700 system when the base system is $500, and then a 2 terabyte regular Xbox is $600, and then you're getting 2 terabytes in the PlayStation 5 Pro. I don't understand what people are complaining about. $700 to me is perfectly fine. Go try and buy a laptop that does what that thing does. You're spending $2,000, $2,500 plus. You want to buy a computer that does what that thing does. You're spending $2,000.
Yeah, so, and it's not like it's the entry model to like actually be able to play PlayStation 5 games. Like it just seems to be something for the hardcore gamers, people that are searching for that. But most people, mom and dad getting PlayStation for little Billy for Christmas, they're not going to care about.
Well, but this is the part that's marketing genius by this company. No one's going to be able to tell the difference between a PlayStation Pro and a PlayStation when you're the grandparent shopping for these kids. They're going to be like, oh, PlayStation, $700. Billy wants one, $700. They're not going to know the difference. So I think it's perfect to get things out at Christmas because people have budgets that they're willing to spend. And as long as it fits in that budget, there's going to be a lot sold.
Is PS5 Pro something that helps enhance the games themselves, like in terms of how you experience, let's say, competitive shooters? Or is it more so for like story mode games?
Well, one, I think it's a benefit for everybody. I think if you're playing first-person shooters, having the difference between 60 frames per second, 120, 144, it all is going to matter who gets that bullet off first, who's going to get a kill, how smooth the game runs, how quickly you can turn, move, aim. These are things that PC players are experiencing right now. And if you play against a PC player in a shooter, you always think there's a little bit of an advantage with a keyboard and mouse, how quickly you can aim and shoot to where you want to go. So I think this is going to be huge for first-person shooters, but also it's Sony. Sony really, really, really dives into their first-party studios and amount of detail and the way those games play. And if you can play every game running at a smooth 60 lock frame rate, it's going to make the game look significantly better. I mean, Mark Cerny's not joking. Most people play on performance mode because the games run so smooth. And when they run smoother, to me, they look better. You can get a little bit more fidelity, like maybe some ray tracing added in on the fidelity mode. But when that game's buttery smooth, that game looks amazing.
And you mentioned Xbox, so their current system you could buy right now is $600. That's souped up or whatever.
No, it's not souped up. It's the exact same system with an extra terabyte.
Oh, with an extra terabyte. That's it. Oh, shoot. And then, so if you spend $100 more in America, you can get the PS5 Pro, which is probably more of a beast under the hood.
Well, not only that, people are complaining about the Xbox coming out at six. They're not even complaining about the Xbox coming out at $600. But does that even include a disk drive? I don't think so. I think it's just a digital console, which is even worse. Like $600, 2 terabytes. Now, I'm sure people fact check me on that, and if it does, but as from my understanding, it's just a new box without a disk drive, and it's $600 for 2 terabytes. That's crazy.
Isn't the PlayStation Pro no disc though?
No, that's an add-on. You can go pay the $80 and get that add-on.
Wait. So you saying it's not good for Xbox to sell it without a disk drive, but it's okay for PlayStation to sell it without a disk drive?
Well, one, you can add a disk drive to the PlayStation. You can't, that I know of, for the Xbox. And two, what move has Microsoft made lately that was a good move? Nothing. and I just mentioned a second ago.
They did PlayStation. They're going to add their games on PlayStation, so I can play it now.
Okay, correction. What move is Xbox making that doesn't involve PlayStation? That's a good one. No. So, I mean, and the thing is, you're seeing rumors circle around now about the X2 coming out in 2 years in 2016, so Microsoft can get in the market. I personally think that's a stupid move. The reason why is the only way this works for Microsoft, before I even get into why it's dumb, because this will explain it, is if the system does not allow you to have Game Pass. You can only buy games for that system, and you have it completely separate from your other market. That way, you have a system come out, it's beefed up, and people have to buy games, and they can make some money back. But if you rely on Game Pass, so you're telling me you go make games that, I don't even know if they go back to the Xbox One still, but they're going to have to work on the Xbox Series S, the Xbox X, and Xbox X2. If that is the actual case, you're going to have to buy games for that system, or you're playing games that are actually Xbox Series S games, and you're trying to upscale them. You're just making them look shinier, and you're not actually even adding in the quality that's going to make the game difference. If you don't do that, then again, what is Microsoft doing that is good that does not involve Sony? All the games that's going to come out on Xbox X2 are literally going to be on the PlayStation Pro and run even better when the PlayStation 6 come out. So I like I said, and I keep harping on this, I don't know if those guys know exactly what they're doing in the market. I think they're just making decisions and we got money, just to throw it at it. People are going to come play. And I just think that's just a bad strategy, especially in the game industry where people control what happens in the market. If you want to keep making these dumb decisions, you're going to find out real fast that it's not turning into dividends.
So even if they go ahead and release that new system a few years before PlayStation releases PlayStation 6, that's not even going to help them.
The strategy, it's all strategy. Your strategy is bad. Look, okay, we've seen the leaks for the new Switch 2, right? That thing looks exactly like a Switch. It doesn't, I mean, I'm sure, as you told me the other day when we were having a discussion, that there's always tricks with Nintendo and stuff that we don't notice or we don't see. But if you look at it, it looks like a pro model of a Switch. And Nintendo has a fortunate ability to be able to do something like that. But Microsoft is only going to get their enthusiasts. That means 15, 20 million people will buy that system to play those games at a higher resolution. And you'll hear them bragging, oh, we got the most powerful system, blah, 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 blah. It's about games, man. That's why Nintendo got a system that it should actually not even be able to run anything that comes out today. And it sells like hotcakes. It still sells 20 million systems a year. And it's like 10 years old. who I wouldn't buy it, but Nintendo has a great strategy. They have great first-party games, and everybody wants to play their system. If considering the amount of competition on the market, you would think that the Switch 2 is not even going to sell with Steam Decks and everything, ROG Ally, all these things are coming out. But I guarantee Nintendo still sells a bunch of systems. They do really well, and they just released the upgraded hardware. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they do got some tricks
before you go into Nintendo. Let's stay with Xbox for a little bit. We have these leaks coming out, rumors from some interesting sources. So assuming that they're correct, that the new Xbox is going to be coming out in the next year or two. What actually, if they were like, hey, Dr. Kennedy, can you come run Xbox here for this next launch so we can do it proper? How could we do this the right way? We have a new great system.
Well, there's a couple ways they could do this really, really well and really change around their fortunes. I think, again, this is a rumor. I don't think they're going to do it. But let's say they did do it. Let's say Microsoft launched a new system in 2 years. Well, now you got a great opportunity to do something great. You can release Skyrim. You can release a new Fallout. You can release Gears of War, and you can release a new Halo within the first year or two of that launch. And Fable. I would make all these games. I wouldn't even bring them out on the last Xbox. I would just make them on the new Xbox, and I would just charge people to play. I think if you do that, you start turning around your fortunes. People want to play these games. And if you keep it on Game Pass, Microsoft, if you keep it on, I don't care if you charge $30, $35 a month. You're going to get those. People are going to play those games. They're going to spend 2 weeks to play them, and you're only going to get $35 for those games. I don't understand who came up with this whole Game Pass was a great solution. It's not. I've had Game Pass 9, 10 times. I don't mind paying $15 to play a game I want to play. I don't have to buy it. That's $70 out my pocket. If you're going to let me play on the PC, play on my phone, play anywhere on any device, I'm never going to buy your system. So that drops out $700, $600, whatever I need to pay to get it. I'm never going to buy the game. So that drops out me actually spending $70 that goes, or the percentage you get that goes into your pocket first party. So I'm thinking you're getting $45, $50 if you have a studio, because you got to pay those guys. So you're missing out on tons of money, and you haven't incentivized people to actually buy the games. You're incentivizing me to buy Game Pass, but I'm gonna just cancel and then buy it again when the next game come out. It's not like you're releasing games like music every week, something new comes out, or I'm listening to one song for a month and then I'm on to the next CD. That's not what's happening. You guys are releasing games that take years to make, giving them to people for like $20, and then expecting to get more people to join in and play and pay you continuously. After I play my game, Halo, for example, played Halo, got a month in, didn't really move the needle for me, cancel my subscription. That's what's going to happen again. So I really do suggest that they go back to the model of selling these games at $70, keep their lower tier 2 systems on Game Pass. That gives you the ability to keep that market going, keep trying to grow that market, especially as these console prices come down and you're trying to get people in that market. You got a console that has Game Pass. It's a hot top tier console, Xbox X. You can get people that'll continue to pay you monthly to play all these games, but you make an exclusive set of games that are only going to be able to be played on your next gen system, and you charge $70 for these people to play the games. A lot of people hated Phil Spencer for what he was saying, but the dude was absolutely right. Microsoft is out of their damn mind. Period.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to play. I'm excited to play their new Indiana Jones game on PlayStation 5. So that'll be nice.
Yeah. Again, a game that you could have had exclusive, but you can't get people to buy your system to make the money back, because even if you like, well, I'm not gonna play the game on PlayStation. Why would I spend $70 on that game when I can go spend 15, 20 bucks and play it on X and play it on my PC? It doesn't make sense. It is the worst strategy I've ever seen in video games.
That's right, because you can connect your PlayStation controller to the PC.
So I'm basically playing on a souped up PlayStation to play the game that you want me to buy on your system that I don't have to. And I'm playing for more than half off the game. Seriously, who is running this company that is that dumb? I don't get it. Maybe they're still trying to reel in from what they did with the Xbox One generation and trying to catch up and trying to figure out new strategies by changing the industry. That isn't your problem, Microsoft. You don't need to change the industry. What you need to do is listen to your gamers. Stop trying to do stuff like, oh, you have to be connected and all of this stuff for, DRM rights or whatever.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Stop doing stupid stuff like that. Listen to your market. And you win. You had Xbox 360, and you guys were dominating Sony. You had features they didn't have. Your Xbox Live was better, and you still got outsold by Sony in the end. And then you made a complete U-turn, did something nobody wanted, and only the hardcore, diehard Xbox fans bought your next system. And then you guys were in a shitty position because you were attached to Kinect, something else nobody wanted. Look, Nintendo told you, Sony told you before you even launched Kinect that it doesn't work. That's why you had a Wii controller, and you had move sticks on a system that was already doing the same games you decided to build your system around. If you did that at any other company, they would fire you because that is stupid.
I forgot about the Kinect.
Yeah,
it had some good use, and I guess it had good applications outside of the gaming industry.
Yeah, no shit. They should have put it on every TV. Did a deal with Samsung, Sony, Toshiba. I don't care who it is. They should have put it on every TV, allowed you to voice control your TV and motion control what channels you went to. It should never been used as a full-time gaming service device. Your whole Xbox arcade right now could be Kinect. You could literally have that on TVs everywhere using it on Kinect. How dumb are you guys? I don't get it. No matter what you say, Nintendo may target kids, but they still win with the hardcore market because their games, although they seem childish, are still targeted to the hardcore community. They just get a bigger market because kids will play them too. That's the strategy, not, we're going to go full-blown kiddie games. What? We're hardcore. We control the market, not the kids.
So yeah, Nintendo now. Moving on to Nintendo. The Switch 2 leak. Yeah, that's just looking like a Switch Pro, right?
Something they should have released 4 years ago. They would have sold 200 million Switches by now had they released that. I would have bought another Switch. The problem is, I think we talked about this other day. Nintendo got outside money in a company now. They got investors that are trying to control what happens. They don't want to see those dollars go down and don't want to take the risk like they did with the Wii U. If this is the case, I mean, I'm hoping that they got something magical happening with the Switch that is new for us. But if you're just releasing an HD Switch with some more bells and whistles that are just polished up from the first Switch, you're not selling 100 million systems again. Maybe you will. Maybe all these people out here who got all these Switches want to get more of them. But I just don't see that happening. I'm not going to go spend a bunch of money. Well, I probably will. But I don't see a bunch of people going to spend a bunch of money when the games are backwards compatible. So chances are you're going to be able to play the new Switch game on the old Switch if they really focus on money this time around. You're going to be able to do that. So why would parents go out and spend a bunch of money to get their kids to play a system that is essentially the same system they already have? They're not going to understand the difference. They're going to think that you already have a Switch. Why would I buy this? It doesn't make sense. And then you're starting to see competition from other companies who are targeting your same market. Astrobot, anybody? It's like the best platform to come out in like 10 years. That means you got competition for Zelda, you got competition for Mario, and it's coming from PlayStation. Why wouldn't you want to get a really upgraded game to play on the PlayStation that plays the exact same as those? I get nostalgia, but I mean, you're looking at a whole new market. And then the way that Sony's talking, they may be shooting out another handheld console. Yeah, I might want to change the strategy up a little bit. I don't think it could continue for another 10 years.
So you don't think that, because Nintendo obviously probably, a lot of people would agree that Nintendo has the strongest IPs, the strongest gaming characters recognizable.
Right, of course.
That's not even going to be enough to...
It's not going to be a market leader. I can see them selling 50 million, and they're going to sell 50 million copies of Mario Kart 8, 50 million Zeldas. They're going to sell 25 million Kirby's. They're going to sell the Animal Crossing is going to do 60 million. They're going to do the exact same thing that they have been doing. They're just not going to have the same base that they have right now. Right now, they have 115 million systems out there. Great. You can just throw games out there and people go buy them. But if you release a new system and it's the exact same as the old one, and you only say switch to, it's not. I don't see it as moving the needle. Now, I don't want to be wrong on this, but if they have some features in there that they don't have on the Switch 1 that separates the two, then I can see that moving the needle. But if you just release the new Zelda and you give me an HD Switch, okay, I'll buy one, but what parent who got 4 kids go buy 4 of those?
Well, I mean, let's get to, there's, obviously, like you said, they're all going to sell millions regardless whether it's good or bad or mediocre. They're still going to sell millions. I
think you're right on that. The only people that got to worry about that is Microsoft. And that's because Microsoft spent a gajillion dollars on studios and they don't sell their system. So if they're only trying to keep it on Xbox, they're just gonna bleed money. So I actually see that if Microsoft doesn't do something to change what they're doing now, they got one or two options. They got to put all their games on multi-platform, or they got to turn into a publisher.
So they're gonna go the Sega route.
Yeah, I mean, I see one more console from them. Like I said, the rumored console may be the last console for them, but at that point, you bought so many studios and you are a publisher now, and that's why you see so many studios losing people. They just closed another studio, 650 people laid off. I think they've laid off almost 3,000 people at this point, maybe even more. And the problem is that they don't know what the hell they're doing. First off, they got too much money and they're just buying up everything and they can't manage it. They're trying to get their fingers and control everything, but that's not how the game industry works. And to be honest, you get something that takes over Call of Duty, it's over with for you guys. What are you doing? Like you're going to lose so much money. If something else can even come out and it grabs the attention of, let's say, 40% of the Call of Duty base, that's billions a year. That's stupid. You put all your eggs in one basket.
I could see TAKEOVER doing that.
Exactly. Come on, man. Like that's the biggest risk I've ever seen in my life, to spend $90 billion on these studios and expect that nobody else is gonna come out with a competitor. I mean, it's not Grand Theft Auto, it's a first-person shooter. Only thing someone needs to do is have a better concept and idea than Call of Duty. Give it 2 iterations, and it's gonna beat out Call of Duty. I mean, we've seen Call of Duty dominate for 15 years, but how many games that has competition last for just completely never change? I think that's where they're gonna struggle at.
All right, so to bring this all full circle, it is, there's a lot of question marks around all these in the news with the new systems coming out, good and bad. Where there's a lot of questions from the hardcore gamers. But the one thing is that we do know is that there are new systems coming out, and with that piece of information, that's where I can also kind of get excited with the time frame of TAKEOVER's development as well. And, we've tossed this around. You got new consoles coming out and you got TAKEOVER development completing. It's like, how crazy would that be to have TAKEOVER as a launch window title? A launch title for one of these new consoles would be ridiculous.
Man, I'm so excited about the timing lining up with TAKEOVER coming out. You got to look at what's going on in this industry right now. First off, TAKEOVER is something completely different. So with Nintendo launching a new system, great opportunity to get in there. Now, we may have to remove some certain things and massage them a little bit to make sure they can get on that system. But if you get that out on the systems and people enjoy playing it on the Switch, that is, man, that's a gold mine. And then you got Sony pushing for their blockchain, so we don't even really have to change much. Just add it right and move it right over to the PlayStation, and you're winning in there. And then it's open. And now that you have you could connect all the systems together and unify internet between them, and everybody's servers are open. You can even put it on Microsoft. And now you're looking at having this system stretch across every different console. And we not only will we be one of the first people to get on Switch with a major first-person shooter, but we're also going to be a game that's on these consoles that can actually help unify this whole market, allow for you to get on one system and sell stuff, and bring back a lot of these players to work together between all the consoles as they start to lose interest. And with a new first-person shooter, how can you lose with that? That is a recipe for success if I ever seen one.
I'm glad you brought up so we did talk about the Sony blockchain in the last podcast, and that's, we did say we had some special piece of TAKEOVER news for today in this podcast, and that goes along with the blockchain. And our guys Stu and the team, they gave us some fantastic news on the development front of TAKEOVER. They confirmed with us they were able to test and implement the interaction with the Ethereum blockchain inside TAKEOVER. Successful tests.
Yeah, appreciate that. That is some good work done there.
So it's
got to be excited for that.
So yeah, things are coming along nicely. Definitely excited to announce that development update. And we got a lot of more updates coming for the community regarding TAKEOVER as we get closer to the alpha. We'll have actually, physical footage to show. So it's getting to be exciting. That's why, to bring it back full circle again, talking about all these new consoles and the console wars still raging on. Everybody.
Yeah. I'll tell you this right here, man. Speak of console wars, that was the best thing to ever happen to Microsoft. You guys wanted to end this console war talk. What is wrong with you guys, man? Everybody got involved. You want involvement. I think part of it is we live in this cupcake society now. You can't say anything, can't be rude, you can't go off on people, you gotta watch what you say. Get that out of the gaming market, man. Allow people to have console wars, allow people to talk shit to each other, allow people to say, I hate this system. No, I'm serious. You got to, because that's some of the best memories we have as gamers, is talking shit to people, coming back winning, celebrating, dogging out your system for ours. You know how much free marketing that is? I would go get an Xbox just so I could tell people I switched over to Xbox and I'm kicking your ass on the PC or PlayStation.
Yeah.
And you got rid of that.
I think that's what we're trying to bring back with TAKEOVER. I'm really glad you say that. I was holding back to say it, but I was going to save it for next episode, but we might as well bring it up now since you kind of just did anyways. But we're talking about implementing some of those competitive features again, where you provide opportunities for both sides to exchange dialogue to bring that intensity of competitiveness. And with today's day and age, there's more advanced technology to you could still have all the shit talking and it can be crazy, and you could still have moderation technology that's available now, be able to kick out the people that are way too extreme. Like, it's not hard to get.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but here's the thing that is crazy, man. The game says you need to be 17 and older and mature to play, but you can't say what you want to in the game. How does that make sense? How does that make sense?
And I think that's why TakeOver's special. If people are paying attention to our faction releases, you know, each faction is going to have their own personality. And I think TakeOver is, you know, a satirical, fun way of kind of expressing that.
I mean, freedom of speech, man. Say what you want. If you want to talk shit, I'm just gonna kill you. I'll get better at the game just to hunt you down and kill you. I don't I don't understand this whole, oh my God, he hurt my feelings. He just shot you in the head. What are you talking about?
Plus there's features now. You know, you can block the player if you don't like what they say. Yeah. You can mute them and block them so you don't play with them ever again. So there's ways to
report. I'm going to report you because you said something I don't like. The verbiage was terrible from this guy. Like, shut up.
And that's pretty much what TakeOver is all about. It's a love letter basically to the shooter enthusiasts, competitive fans that love shooters, that thought behind their head, like, man, I wish I could be playing a different shooter right now. Like, isn't there something new?
Or I wish I could say whatever I want and not get kicked out of the game.
We need the lobbies. We need to bring back shit talking between teams. We need to bring back shit
trolling.
Talking. But anyways,
hardcore
guys,
trolling.
I think we covered a lot today. We talked about the consoles and the news. A lot of new console talk going on. Any last words, Keys, in this last 30 seconds?
No, man. I'm excited to continue bringing the news and talking to you guys about things and what we're doing, what we're developing, and what my thoughts are in the industry and these companies making the decisions they're making and why I think that some of them are good, some of them are bad. So I look forward to it. Trying to get that PlayStation Pro 30th edition. I know you guys seen it. It's only like, I don't know what, 13,000 of them or something like that. Definitely want one.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little TakeOver update as well with the successful Ethereum test that the guys did, the team Stu and the team did with the preliminary test with the blockchain and TakeOver. Very excited about that, guys. We'll get more into more TakeOver updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Take care, guys. Peace.